All right, this video is all about how to get a DEXA scan done. So I actually had a follower ask me about it. The good thing about getting a DEXA scan done now is it's so much easier to do and anybody can get access to it. It's not like you need a medical referral. You do have to pay out of pocket. Nothing's going to be covered via insurance, unfortunately, even though it could be looked at as a clinical condition if you potentially might have really low bone mineral density, potentially osteopenic, or have osteoporosis. But there are a few different ways to go about doing so, and there's no universal company or piece of equipment that is standardized across. There are three different types of DEXA machines. There's one by GE, there's one by Hologic, there's one by Norland. The one that's at 75% of places is GE. It's the one I've used predominantly exclusively with athletes for a very long time. The first time I ever got access to a DEXA, I was an undergrad. This was 2004, well over 20 years ago, at K-State. And I used the exact same machine. It was a GE. I used the exact same machine for my exercise intervention study when I went back for my master's. And it's the one that most NFL teams and athletic teams will end up using. So the first thing I do for any client that I have is I got to figure out what location they're in, what city and state, what's your zip code. So for this individual, he sent me 30066. So that's the first thing I do. Just go to maps, 3066. It's Marietta, Georgia. I think I've got a cousin in around that area. And then all I do is type in DEXA. And you're going to get a variety of different locations and places in and around this area. Some might end up being imaging places where it's just straight up radiology. Others might be, Life Fit Lab, I don't know what this is, a wellness center. And generally, you're going to want to aim for the wellness center. Their prices are going to be a lot lower. You're going to have to deal with less headache. You won't have to have a provider referral, which is what most of these radiology centers are going to need, even if they can do body composition via DEXA for you, because they're only really looking at bone mineral density and bone mineral content, and that's more of a clinical aspect of things. So, DEXA is a company that's very prevalent across the nation. I use it in Kansas City. I've used it in Boston. I use it for a variety of my clients. I really like their printout and recording very much. So again, the price for a DEXA is variable across the country. It can be as low as 45 or 50 bucks. It can go as high as $299, and it just depends on where you live at. So it seems like this individual can easily get access to a DEXA. So if you want to go to DEXA Fit Atlanta, boom, click on it. Just go to the scheduler, pay for it. That's all you need to do. If you end up finding yourself in a location that doesn't have any facility around it, or all you see are imaging centers, and then you click on the link and it's just talking about, look, we can do a DEXA, but you need to provide a referral, don't do that. The next thing I would end up doing for that individual is go to this site, fitnesscity.com. I've actually talked to the CEO multiple times. She's good people. So what Fitnesscity has done is it's partnered with a lot of these clinical centers that might have a metabolic cart, they might have a DEXA, and they give open access to those resources to clients that want to pay instead of having to be a patient and get a referral. So it's additional business, additional income stream for them, which is genius. So you can pick any kind of test you want. So obviously you can do DEXA body composition, DEXA bone density. If you're looking for body composition, you would end up clicking on it, and we're looking at 30066, Marietta, Georgia, and then just look it up. And they're going to give you what's closest to you, and you want to make sure that it has what you selected or what you're looking for, DEXA body composition, and not just DEXA bone mineral density. Or if it's a place that's 2 miles away, but it's just RMR or VO2, and they don't have body composition. So you obviously make sure that you're selecting the place and location that has the service or the test that you were looking for. So there's a variety of different ones. So you can see the price is all over the place. It's anywhere from $170 to $280, so it's a $110 difference. Hopefully you don't have to drive too far away to get access to it. So 170 bucks, 8.9 miles away. That's not too terribly bad. I'm not going to lie. Another company that you can look at is Body Spec. So Body Spec is great, but the issue about Body Spec is you're only going to get access to their locations in these cities. These are, major cities. So there isn't a whole lot around here that you're going to get access to. So Body Spec is another option. Another company you can look at is Instalab. So Instalab is great. I actually searched for a location to get my CAC done, which was 0, by the way. 41 years old, Indian, 0. Kind of unheard of these days. So you can go to tests, type in DEXA, make sure you click DEXA body composition, and this will actually act as your scheduler. I've got Peter Hartia here, which is hilarious. I probably want to take that down. So schedule your DEXA scan. What I actually ended up doing was, this is just a general business location of a restaurant in Marietta, Georgia. I don't want anybody's personal information out there. So I was like, okay, let me just see what's around. So it wants to know what's around you. So look, this came up with a couple different options, but it did pop up a couple things that I found on Google Maps, but it makes it a little bit easier. So you can do cheapest or you can do closest. Cheapest less than 25 miles. I think both are the exact same thing. So this is actually pretty good. So I would actually start with Google Maps and Instalab. And if you can't find anything, maybe you go to Fitnessity. But look at this here, $100, 18 miles away, not too terribly bad. $100, 24.2 miles away. So, the Liveline RX is going to be the best choice. So you're going to have to put in information and then click continue. Another thing you potentially could do, and I highly recommend this, is once you find a place close to you and you're like, okay, I have an idea of what that cost is, maybe you go directly to their website, because their website might offer coupons or discounts. You're not going to get the coupon or discount going through Instalab. So locations and pricing, sometimes it'll pop up here on their website. Maybe you can do a package deal. So Liveline RX is in a variety of different cities. So if there wasn't a Liveline RX in Atlanta and in around the area, then the DEXA Fit is also another option. So here we go, New Year's special, $75 DEXA scans. So instead of $100, or normally $150 each, you get $25 off, so 25% off, which is phenomenal. I mentioned 2026 clients, so great. Now you have a coupon code. You won't be able to utilize this coupon code through Instalab, so I would just suggest going directly through their website. So search, see what's around your area, what may or may not be. If you can't find anything, then go to Instalab, go to Fitnessity. If you find a location, go to their site or even call them up directly and ask them, like, hey, I'm a new client. I'm looking to find a place which I can establish as my testing provider. I'm looking to do body composition. Do you have any deals for me? You don't necessarily have to tell them this, but it doesn't have to be true, but you can tell them this, like, look, I want to get multiple tests done, and let me know what kind of offer you currently have, or if you do offer bulk packaging pricing. Maybe you buy 2 or 3 and you just keep them in your pocket, and maybe those 2 or 3 are a lot cheaper than buying one outright. You get what I'm saying? So work it into your own direction. Work it to help you get the best out of the situation. Now, once you get it scheduled, my recommendation is stick with the same location and the same machine. Just like with anything that we end up doing, with any kind of test or assessments, we want to follow a proper testing standardized protocol. This isn't, I did a DEXA at Liveline RX, and then I want to get my follow-up scan. I happen to be traveling and visiting, a different location, and they have a DEXA special for $50. I'm going to get it done there. No. Same location, same machine, same time of day, same testing standards. So in general, you want to do this as early in the morning as possible, hydrated, good night of sleep, likely, better off that you're fasted. That way you don't have any confounding influencers that would impact hydration status, anything like that. No hard workouts, no, really intense workouts, sauna, normal nutritional intake the night before. We don't want to try to go too crazy, try to get a good night of sleep, and then that's it. And if you repeat that for your follow-up scan, then the data that you have is going to be hopefully as accurate as possible, and your comparison from test 1 to test 2 will give you that best opportunity to have the appropriate way to track those changes. Because if you did something completely different the day before, the night before, the morning of, versus when you did it again, you don't know what you actually did and how much of an impact and influence it has on your results. You get what I'm saying? So that's something really, really important to end up doing and to end up thinking about. So that is how you look for a location to get your DEXA scan done, what you can think about in terms of pricing, what good guidelines are to follow. I'm actually going to get a DEXA most likely next week is probably the time to do it. I'm going to do it right after I drop the kids off at school, drive straight down to the location. We only have 2 or 3 within the greater Kansas City area, so I'm going to have to drive a bit to get down there, which is okay. I haven't gotten one since the end of 2024, and it's not like I need to. I look very similar. I have for the past 6 years. The last one was around 14%. I think I just wanted it as a maintenance upkeep tool for me, because it's been a year and a half. I think it's worth it. Since I tell my clients to do it, I encourage everybody else to do it. I'm going to put myself under the microscope as well and hold my hand to the fire and do that as well. So hopefully this video has been very informative about how you go about looking for a location to get a DEXA scan, how much it should cost, and what guidelines you should follow prior to getting your scan done.